The first time Daniel was called lazy, he was 10. His teacher looked over her glasses and said it in that clipped, disappointed tone only adults seem to perfect. He had forgotten to hand in a math worksheet, again. But what the teacher didn't know was that Daniel had spent the night trying to fall asleep with a buzzing in his chest and a lump in his throat, listening to his parents argue in the next room like they were strangers trapped in the same house. That morning, he couldn't think of fractions. He could barely remember his own name. Years passed. The word lazy became a label, a shadow that followed him. He heard it from teachers, later from friends, and finally from himself. Every time he delayed starting a project or ignored a task, the echo would come back. Lazy. He believed it so fully that when he didn't study, didn't clean, didn't reply to messages, he didn't even feel guilt anymore, just resignation. He figured he was broken in some way others weren't, but something changed in his mid-20s. It wasn't a movie moment revelation, just a slow burn of realizations. One night, he stayed late at the office, not because he had to, because he wanted to. He was working on a client presentation and lost track of time. At 10 p.m., he looked around and realized he hadn't checked his phone in hours. He was deep in the zone, focused, even excited. When he got home that night, he couldn't stop thinking, why can I focus on work, but not my own life? He started noticing patterns. He procrastinated on laundry, but not on editing videos for a friend's channel. He forgot to reply to emails, but he could spend hours designing a new brand concept just for fun. What was going on? Curious, Daniel started reading, not productivity hacks or morning routine guides, but books on psychology, trauma, neurodivergence. He came across terms like executive dysfunction and burnout paralysis. He learned about how unresolved anxiety could disguise itself as laziness, how perfectionism sometimes hides under procrastination, how shame kills motivation. Then he remembered his childhood, the arguments, the tension, the way his body would shut down under stress. He remembered how no one ever asked why. He didn't do the work, just why not? It hit him. He wasn't lazy. He was protecting himself. His mind had been prioritizing survival over performance for years. He started changing his inner dialogue. When he felt resistance to doing something, he didn't call himself lazy anymore. He asked, what's actually stopping me right now? Sometimes it was fear of failure. Sometimes it was mental exhaustion. Sometimes, he just didn't care about the thing he was supposed to do. And that was okay too. It didn't make him bad. Daniel began designing his days differently. He structured tasks around interest and energy, not guilt and shame. He used 5-minute rules to get started. He forgave himself when he needed rest. He talked openly with friends about these patterns and found many of them struggling too. Most of them thought they were the lazy ones. Years later, Daniel gave a talk at a conference for young creatives. He stood on stage, looking out at a sea of tired eyes, and told them the truth he wished someone had told him. That laziness is rarely about being unwilling. It's about being unheard, unseen, or overwhelmed. That your brain is doing its best with the information it has. That your value is not measured in output. And motivation is a fire that needs kindling, not punishment. As he walked off the stage, someone stopped him in the hall and said, "You just described my entire life. I thought I was the only one." Daniel smiled. He remembered 10-year-old him, sitting in that quiet classroom, believing he was defective. And in that moment, he forgave himself completely.